At nearly 4,000 meters above sea level, ancient farmers grew potatoes in fields designed to resist frost.
Hundreds of kilometers away, shamans carved giant birds and animals into the desert floor so vast they could only be fully appreciated from the sky.
Far to the south, hunter-gatherers survived among glaciers, icy seas, and relentless winds. These societies spoke different languages, worshipped different gods, and lived in vastly different worlds. Yet they shared a common challenge:
how to survive and thrive in some of the most demanding environments on Earth.
This is the story of South America's first peoples, their civilizations, and the traces they left behind in ancient DNA.
More than 15,000 years ago, small groups of hunter-gatherers moved across the grasslands of Patagonia and the Pampas. They pursued alpaca, guanaco, deer, and other game across immense distances.
Their stone spear points and campsites reveal people who adapted to a continent still changing after the Ice Age. These early settlers would become the ancestors of countless South American populations that followed. At the southernmost edge of the Americas, the peoples of Tierra del Fuego created one of humanity's most remarkable adaptations. European sailors were astonished to find communities surviving in freezing temperatures while wearing little clothing. Their lives revolved around the sea. They hunted sea lions, gathered mussels and limpets, collected seabirds, and navigated dangerous channels in bark canoes. For thousands of years, these maritime peoples thrived at the edge of the world. Along Brazil's Atlantic coast, another solution emerged. Communities settled near lagoons and estuaries, rich in fish, oysters, and shellfish. Over generations, they built enormous shell mounds known as sambaquis. Some rose more than 30 meters high and required centuries to construct. These monuments served as burial grounds, landmarks, and symbols of communities deeply connected to the sea. Life in southern Peru demanded a different kind of ingenuity. Rainfall was scarce, and survival depended on careful management of water. The Nazca built irrigation systems that transformed dry valleys into productive farmland, but they are remembered for something even more extraordinary. Across the desert, they created gigantic geoglyphs depicting hummingbirds, monkeys, spiders, whales, and geometric forms stretching for kilometers. Their purpose remains debated, but many archaeologists believe they were linked to ceremonies, pilgrimage routes, and the search for life-giving water. On Peru's northern coast, the Moche transformed desert landscapes through engineering. Networks of irrigation canals brought water to fields of maize.
A Moche artisan kneels beside wet clay. Carefully, he shapes the face of a warrior. 15 centuries later, that vessel will still tell its story.
Moche ceramics portray priests, warriors, jaguars, owls, musicians, and ritual ceremonies with remarkable realism. Their great adobe pyramids dominated the landscape, serving as centers of political and religious authority. High above the clouds, near Lake Titicaca, a sacred city emerged. Tiwanaku stood nearly 4,000 meters above sea level. Its farmers cultivated potatoes and quinoa in raised fields designed to protect crops from freezing. Llamas and alpacas provided transportation, wool, and food. Among the most important religious symbols was the staff god, a powerful supernatural figure carved into stone monuments throughout the Andes. At its height, Tiwanaku's influence extended hundreds of kilometers beyond the lake itself. While Tiwanaku flourished in the south, another power was transforming the Andes. The Wari established administrative centers connected by roads. Food, textiles, and labor could be organized across vast territories. Many archaeologists consider the Wari the first true imperial state of the Andes. Their innovations in administration and infrastructure would influence every major empire that followed.
The greatest of those empires was the Inca Empire, which was the largest ever seen in the Americas. From their capital at Cusco, they ruled a territory stretching nearly 4,000 kilometers along the spine of South America. Their vast realm was connected by an engineering marvel of more than 40,000 kilometers of roads and suspension bridges, allowing messengers, armies, and supplies to move rapidly across mountains, deserts, and forests. Llama caravans walked through a mountain pass carrying maize, textiles, dried meat, and messages between distant provinces.
Roads connected deserts, forests, mountains, and cities. Terraces transformed steep slopes into productive farmland. Suspension bridges spanned deep canyons.
They achieved all that without a true writing system. They administered their empire using quipus, complex arrangements of knotted cords that recorded information such as taxes, census data, and stored resources.
The civilizations of South America left behind cities, roads, temples, and monuments, but they also left something less visible: fragments of DNA preserved in bone and teeth. Today, researchers can reconstruct ancient genomes and compare people who lived thousands of years apart. They reveal connections that archaeology alone cannot see. Some belong to fishing communities on the Brazilian coast. Others were llama herders near Lake Titicaca or lived within the great centers of Tiwanaku, Wari, and the Inca Empire. Others belong to societies whose names have been lost to history. Together, they reveal migrations and expansions that archaeology alone cannot see.
The descendants of these people still live across South America, and their story continues to be uncovered, one discovery at a time.